I have never stood before more than 5 people to speak. I've never worn one of these. When they hooked me up, I said, I'm just going to the loo. Will they hear that? No, it's okay. So that was a relief. Thank you, John. Amazing. It was really nice of Jana to put me on the second day because I could observe what goes on here and how it works. And what I observed was everybody here has told their story. And everybody here, I observe, lives what they tell. And I think that's authenticity. And the other relief was when Jana first asked me to talk, she was lying on a couch with needles in every orifice, slightly delirious from endorphins. And she said, do you want, I know, do you want to speak at a live in Berlin? Sorry, my nose is running now because I've been crying. It's not a good look. And I said, yes. And she said, no, really? I said, yes. She said, will you do it? Yes. So here I am. Oh, Tis, thank you. Thank you. God, can you see it? Thank you. So bear with me. Did you say I'm your GP and acupuncturist? Because I was in the loo worrying about what people were hearing. Okay. I'm her GP and acupuncturist. So I think I'm different. I'm here to challenge you. Ben has challenged me hugely. I haven't had a chance to talk to him yet. But you challenged me less with this talk today. So the workshop really challenged me. But the talk today filled in the gaps that I wanted you to tell me there. So go to the workshop. It's fabulous. I'm here today because I believe that I sit between 2 odd worlds. And I believe this is the first time I've had the courage to say and tell you about my observations over the years, really. I'm not going to tell you my whole story because everybody has got the same story, actually. And if you want to hear the nuts and bolts, I can do that when I see you one-to-one. I've decided, after hearing Ben's talk, I am an intimate, now I've got to get this right, an intimate extrovert. That was the word I came up with. So Sarah came on and said, this is really hard for me, I'm an introvert. I'm an extrovert one-to-one, but I'm an introvert in this environment, so it's quite scary. Yeah. Pressing the refresh button, I even changed the name, was about, I want to challenge you on what you believe is health. So what brings us together? I'm going to skip through this, we know this. We are all the same, absolutely identical. Same stories. This group is so nice for me because you want to hear what I have to say. Most people I work with, how do you feel about your smoking? What do you mean how I feel about my smoking? I love it. Don't tell me to fucking give up my smoking. I love it. Okay, we won't talk about smoking, that's fine. Do you want me to help you with what you're eating? I love chocolate. Don't tell me to stop caffeine. I love caffeine. Okay, I won't stop you drinking. So you actually want to hear what I have to say, which is really nice. So this is, what I'm saying is, this is a unique group of individuals who are motivated, who want to change. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to know. That's my web address. No, my email address. I would really, really like to hear your feedback because I've never done this before, and I'd really like to hear about the things you like and the things that don't work, because if I ever get asked again if I love this, I'll tell you at the end whether I do. It would be good for me to grow from this, so I would appreciate that. Also, when you email me, I will, with your permission, send you some newsletters after this talk that you might find useful. And I have a bit of a fun thing as well that you can do. All will become clear, I hope. Who am I? Lots of things. Actually, I haven't got my badge on. I was really struggling with the superpower bit. Is anybody else struggling with writing their superpower? Yeah. So I came up with authentic chameleon. That's me. I can tell you what I like, can't I? You don't know me. And you can all tell us all what you like. I don't know any of you. You can be Superman. Where is he? So I want to, at this stage, honor the shy, quiet people who haven't said anything, and the people who, walking into this room, is the biggest, bravest thing they've done in a long time. And those are the people we should be listening to, and those are the people that teach us the most, not us. You should be standing up here quietly. So I was very, very shy, very, very quiet. I was telling John, who was just here, I met him on the flight over, that when I was 11, I won a disco dancing competition. And it was when Grease and Saturday Night Fever were the thing. And my prize was to go on Blue Peter, which you wouldn't know about unless you're from the UK. But this was a big children's program, live TV. I couldn't even speak. I had to dance on a cross. And they went, right, okay, 3, 2, 1, go. And I was like, and then they asked me what pop group I liked. I didn't even know what a pop group was. I was so pathetic. Anyway, went into medicine. This is going to be quick. Went into medicine, eyes wide open, lots of questions. My nickname at medical school was Retake Queen, which says it all. Trust me, I'm a doctor. I know what I'm talking about. Questions, came out of medical school, did my GP training, saw the road. 2.4 kids, 4-wheel drive, medical social life. That is not me. Ran away. Literally ran to New Zealand that far away. To get away from my family, my friends, because I didn't know what was me. I was living and responding to what was around me and who was around me, not for myself. Everybody influenced me. Everything somebody said to me influenced me, so I ran away. New Zealand was amazing, is amazing. I went for a year with a suitcase, no friends, no job, no apartment, scared, and stayed 6 years. When I was in New Zealand, I discovered acupuncture. A lady who was setting up an acupuncture college asked me if I'd teach Western medicine. The Retake Queen, she didn't know that bit. So I did that, gave up, thought I need to learn this medicine. That's me, bits of me. Challenge you. All of us have an idea that we're healthy or not. I'm going to challenge that. All of us have an idea about what is healthy. I'm going to challenge that. And you can challenge me. That's fine. It's good for me. Okay. Very quickly, these are some of the characteristics that I admire in other people. And we talked about legacies. Be careful about the story you tell about who you are. You can change it. You can change it at any time. You can tell the drama story, the victim story, oh, this happened to me when I was young and that is who I am. Or you can say, this happened to me and because of that, that is who I am. And that's what I sense you will want to do, is all of us have wounds, deep wounds. They come up and bite us sometimes. Look at them, don't push them away. I was really, really good at pushing away. I am an ever optimist. You know, my leg could be falling off, I'd always see the bright side. That's really helpful, but not real. You know, I've had to learn, and I'm still learning to sit in the darkness. It's not comfortable. Silly is important, really important, especially as a doctor. God, they're boring bastards. Fun. Health, what is it? You can say something if you want, but I won't go, what do you do? I have to do it in American. That sucks. This talk would be so much better in American. Okay, freaking awesome. What's health, dudes? That sucks. But I'm not. I'm British. So perhaps I should speak a bit like this and we all could have a cup of tea. And it would be fine. So, Is health an absence of symptoms? Your doctor might say yes. Nothing hurts. Nothing hurts. Pardon?
My doctor sucks.
Your doctor sucks. My doctor sucks. Really? It's not just an absence of symptoms, is it? Is it about feeling alive? Yep. Feeling happy? Yeah, I think to feel happy all the time is a big ask and not real. I would, for me, I don't like not feeling happy, but it's how it is. I think health is about adaptation. It's not fixed. There's not I am healthy now and I will stay healthy because I eat 5 a day, I blah, blah, blah. It's about adaptation. You have to adapt to stresses to stay healthy. And that's the bit that's quite challenging. And nobody can tell you how to do that. Nobody can tell you. None of us can tell you how to be healthy, actually. But I'm trying to give you something tangible to go away and say, actually, if I check in and do this, I could feel healthier. Flexibility. Flexibility physically, flexibility emotionally. Sometimes it's really important for me to sit and feel pissed off. Pissed off. That's better. Flexibility is really, really important. If you're stiff physically and you're stiff emotionally, you will not flow. Nothing will move or flow. Assess yourself. Don't assess yourself through what you hear from other people. You don't look healthy, you're fat. You're not healthy, you're skinny. You can't be healthy, you eat coffee. You eat chocolate, that's not healthy. I'm gluten-free vegan, I'm not. That's nothing wrong with gluten-free and vegan. What I'm saying is find your own way in everything. That's the only way, really. For some people, it's okay to eat chocolate. I think it's really challenging for gluten-intolerant, dairy-intolerant people because they have to work harder to stay healthier. Some people smoke, drink, eat shit, don't do much exercise, live to 80 and say they're happy. That's health. That's challenging, right? For them. They don't want to change, they're quite happy. As a doctor, if I say to them, give up your smoking, fuck off. Okay. They say it with their eyes, they don't do that. Actually, no. They tell the receptionist to fuck off and they come to me and go, hi, doctor. I'll give up my smoking, fuck off. As they leave the room. So. Self-management. We can give you books. We can give you, what do they say? Practitioner, heal thyself. Very few practitioners, people who are leaders of health, are healthy. Very few. That's why it was so refreshing seeing all the speakers up here. They are living what they believe. That makes them more likely to stay healthy. I would imagine all the speakers, when they're 85, will still have a little twinkle or a big twinkle in their eyes. And those are the people you need to look for, talk to, catch the twinkle, walk over, go, hello, I like your twinkle. Maybe not that. I always ask 85-year-old men, women, or older, why do you thrive? You know, what do you do? I don't know, just... But there is something. There is a characteristic, I think, for health. It's individual. There is a state of mind, and we'll talk about that. I'll leave you guessing. So what's your prescription? All different, I would imagine. And some people are very rigid about it. I don't eat sugar ever. I never drink caffeine. That's okay, but some people do, and some people love it. Somebody said to me, if you eat chocolate and have an orgasm while you're eating it effectively, and you absolutely ingest it and love it, it feels amazing. Not quite as good as an orgasm, but it's not far off if it's a really good piece of chocolate. My first line bone was meant to be, actually, I'm the post-coital speech. So the men are asleep. The women are saying, I was almost there, but now you're asleep. So I'm wearing an orange top with orange hair to keep you awake. And if you start falling asleep, I have needles and I will shoot them at you. So it's nearly lunchtime. This is a hard time to talk to people. I want you to, by the end of this, to have a prescription for your health, to have some way of checking in. That's why I'm here. Traditional Chinese medicine, TCM, has become my passion because it makes sense. It makes so much more sense to me than Western medicine. If you get run over by a bus, you do not want acupuncture. If you have a life-threatening disease, you do not want acupuncture. TCM consists of 4 branches. Acupuncture, the needles. They're tiny, they're like hairs. I treat lots of needle-phobic people. Acupuncture, cupping, moxibustion are the 3 bits of acupuncture. Tuina is a massage technique, Chinese herbs, and something called medical qigong, which is a whole other topic. Medical qigong is about internal energy. There are lots of CrossFitters here. Crossfitting, this might challenge, is about external energy, making the external body functional, flexible, strong. When ancient monks studied this and did this for themselves, martial arts, contact martial arts, they realized their external body was strong, but something internally wasn't strong. You have to have both. Medical qigong, and there are lots of other ways of doing it too, yoga, tai chi, meditation, this isn't the only way, is about internal energy that we can't see and we can't measure. So those of you that like studies, how do I know if my internal energy is right? I'll come to that. But it is really important that you do both. And I would love to see things like CrossFit, I have talked to somebody here, incorporate internal energy strength because you wouldn't have to lift so hard. You'd be able to do it with less weights, and I've seen that happen. That's really fascinating. There we go, that's another topic. Taoism, has anybody heard of Taoism? Okay, I hadn't heard of Taoism. Taoism is an observation of the natural world. That's simplifying it, I know. Humans are unique. The Chinese ancient texts written 2,000 years ago had us standing like this. Arms to the heavens, feet to the earth. Okay? We're unique. Animals cannot stand like this most. Orangutans maybe, but they don't learn to do it for very long. The reason this is important is because we need to integrate this energy, the physical hard stuff, with this heavenly, very difficult to measure other stuff. We are meant to be doing both. We stand like that, okay? This is a Taoist poem by Lao Tzu. If you ever get a chance to read the Tao Te Ching by Lao Tzu, some of you may have already read it. It's a beautiful collection of poems by a philosopher who observed nature, was a Taoist sage. Timing is really important. Choose the time you compliment somebody. When you're about to blame, just stop a bit, wait, check in. And don't fight. I spent a long time in early medicine trying to fight the system and believe I could do it differently. And actually I probably would never be standing here if I'd kept on fighting. So I've kind of stopped the fight really and realized if I do my little bit and that little bit ripples out, that's enough. That's okay. Really bad drawing. I couldn't get this at all. My 5-year-old said, "Mummy, that's rubbish." I said, I know. Anyway, yin-yang. This is the origin of yin and yang. What they did is saw a hillside, saw the sunshine shining on a hillside. One side was bright, one side was dark. Yin-yang, that's it. Okay? Then they said, oh, maybe the world's like that, opposites. There are dark bits, light bits. The light bit's yang, the dark bit's yin. There it is. Exactly the same picture you used. Yours was beautiful, really beautiful photograph. Look at it. We spent, as acupuncturists, about 3 weeks just talking about this. That's how important it is. It's used in the media, but I want you to understand where all this comes from. I don't want to just give you information. I want to say to you, here's how this has become what it is. So you go away with some understanding. Within yang, the white bit, there's always a bit of yin. Within yin, the dark bit, there's always a bit of yang. This symbol is not static. It flows, it moves, it spins, okay? So we are not, the world is not opposite. We don't have dark and light. It all flows. It's constantly moving. And you have control over what goes on in your body in a similar way. These two energies. The Chinese also, as well as viewing these sort of polarities in life, realized that what goes on outside in the world goes on within us. That's a sort of animated cell at the bottom and the big wide world. So, seasons change, they affect us. The moon changes, it affects us. All right? We become very disconnected in our inside world with the lighting, the heating. You must remember what goes on outside there. I think I'd quite like you to take this home. I was going to get you to do a little exercise, but I think I've got too much to say, so I'm not going to do that. Would you just humour me and at home look at activities in your day that are more yin, quiet, soft, reflective, still. Activities in your day which are yang, the opposite. When I did that, this was really recently, I went back to learn this stuff with my medical Qigong. My teacher just looked, she was one of those people who look through you and see it all immediately. Yeah, and I just thought, she's got me, or I can see she's got me. She said, okay, Carolyn, do this yin yang. Should I know what you'll score? I thought, she won't. I am balanced. All mine were yang. I had about 1 yin and about 25 yang. So I do really good. I do really well at yang, always have done. Yin, I'm quiet. Breathe. Yeah, but what about that? Stop. Yeah, about just going really, really out of balance on the yang thing. So have a look at that, because it's a really good basic starting point. In order to have health, there needs to be balance. Chinese love numerology, numbers, okay? So we started with the one, which is the Tao, all that is, before the Big Bang, the something. Then they went to 2, yin and yang, which is how they saw the world from this one. Then we went to heaven, human, earth. Okay, how do we stand in that world of yin and yang? We integrate them both. We're not one or the other, we integrate them both all the time. If those are all balanced, we should feel healthy. I know this is basic, but bear with me. Whoa, I'm going backwards again. 4, from 3 to 4. The 4 directions. North, south, east, west. Don't forget, they're just looking at the outside world and saying, how do we fit with that? How can I have a model to look outside there, check in and see the same things happening here? From the 4 to the 5, we added some elements in. They looked in the north, and generally the north was a bit darker. So they thought, let's call that water. The south was hotter, let's call that fire. The east, let's call that wood. The west, let's call that metal. And then they had something in the middle, which was earth. So earth is central to everything. Everything flows around the earth. Then we added the seasons. Winter in the north, summer in the south, spring in the east, and autumn in the west. What I'd like you to do briefly is just reflect on what change energetically happens in each season, because I think it's very easy to forget what's happening in the seasons. In the UK, the seasons are stunning, I think. There's this beautiful transition between the seasons, and you feel the change, and we're meant to feel the change. Some of the problems I have in acupuncture is people come in at this time of year and they're still in winter. I can't get out of bed still. I know it's sunny, but I just don't feel like that energy's coming up. Think of the energy of spring. We're still in spring. We're not in summer yet. The energy of spring is that green sapling that bursts through concrete. It's phenomenal energy. We should be rutting like bunnies in the spring. We should look at the animals. They're all doing it. They're all doing it. So, you should be feeling like, whoa, there's some energy there from that winter. The summer is full. We should be running around, exercising. It's full, it's sunny. If you don't feel like that, don't beat yourself up, but do something about it. Something's not right. I don't feel like that. So you don't have to have psychotherapy. You could, there are lots of ways of tuning in. And the nice thing about something like acupuncture is I don't need you to tell me about it. Sometimes I can put a needle in and I can stimulate that wood point, that spring point. I'll talk about this later. And some people lie there and they say, "Ooh." I say, "What?" "Don't know. Something's happening." And they walk out and they feel different. And it can be that dramatic. So believe that, please. It's not always hard. We make it very hard. So the earth becomes late summer. It's a different season in Chinese medicine. Late summer is the fullest. It's that time just before harvest where everything's at its absolute biggest and best. So a time to pause before the winter, which is all about storing the seed, making sure the seed is really beautifully as you want it before you get the spring energy. If you yang around in winter, still rutting like bunnies all the time, this is where we might have a bit of conflict. Chinese medicine are big on male essence not being used too much. So when men let go very easily in 3 minutes, 4 minutes, they are losing some of their essence, Jing, which is a really, really important life force, which is why they fall asleep, because it's like, oh, God. Women less so. But so in the winter, it's really important that you store energy, you slow down. You can still keep fit, but change with the seasons and you will feel a lot healthier. Don't fight it, okay? Do you remember before I'd put the elements in? Have a look at this cycle, because it's really, you will observe it everywhere. If we start with wood, the green one, if you rub 2 sticks together, you get fire. If you burn down the fire, you get earth, ash. When you dig in the earth, you get precious metals, gemstones. If you leave a mirror out, metal, on a cold night, you get water condensing on the mirror. Without water, wood wouldn't grow. So there's this beautiful cycle of elements. Ayurvedic medicine has a similar system. There was a lot of overlap with these traditions a long time ago. Before we started dissecting bodies, then it all went horribly wrong in the West, I think. So this is a really nice cycle of elements. The questionnaire that I can give you when you email me is to work out which one of these characteristics you relate to most strongly. When I did this, and my husband did it, we were polar opposites. I had lots of earth and fire. Earthy people, it matters to them how other people are. Are you getting what I say? And I'm really worried. And you okay? And they're voluntary workers. They like eating. Fiery people love big parties or like intimate connections. There are 2 types of fiery people. I was earth and fire. He was metal and water. My husband's advice to all the people that I tell him about, less so now, that come into me for work, he says, just tell them to get a life. I said, John, you wouldn't do that well in business, would you? He said, no, just tell him to get a life. God, I can't believe they tell you that shit. He loves watching Casualty in Holby City. It's a day at work for me. I don't want to see that stuff. The beauty of polar opposites is when you come together, it works, as long as you acknowledge the differences. There's no point me asking him to be earthy. He can't. He can't. So I can do that bit, that's fine. Remember the 4 directions? Remember the 5 bits with the earth in the middle? Now you add organs. So in the north, the winter, the cold, the blue colour, kidneys and bladder. Wintry, watery, peeing. Fire, heart, obvious. Passion, love, energy, heat, yang. Kidneys, bladder, yin, quiet, reflection. Hence, these organs are most vulnerable at their appropriate season. In the winter, we need to be really careful of our kidneys and bladders. What is it with this midriff out, or it used to be anyway, people walking around in winter and I want to pull up their trousers or pull down their top and tuck it all. I'm constantly tucking things in the winter. You keep your neck warm, keep your back warm in winter. It's really important. Do not walk on cold floors with bare feet. The first point of your kidney channel is on the bottom of your foot. Women who are wanting to conceive need warm kidneys. They control the whole conception, they control sexual energy, they control the genital system. You're walking and driving cold up into there, it's not going to be good. So it's a basic advice, but it makes sense. It feels... So watch that one. Heart and small intestine in the summer. Heat, fullness. They are most... You can go and get crazy in summer. So, too much heat. If you start eating really, really spicy foods in the summer, some people go a bit... So you just watch things like that. Whoops. Liver and gallbladder. In the spring are most vulnerable. Lung and large intestine are most vulnerable in the winter. Hence, you see stomach bugs. I can see as a doctor, certain bugs appear at different times in the year because those organs are the most vulnerable. Urine infections in the winter. There's a huge amount of chest infections and gastroenteritis in the autumn. I see it. I can't argue with that. We see it every year. Doctors comment on it, but they can't explain it. And the spleen and stomach sit in the middle this late summer. So again, you can get digestive problems sometimes in the late summer. I'm not saying none of these things don't happen at other times of the year, but there's a definite pattern. So that's just reminding you of the seasons and which organs you need to watch out for and be careful with. I can give seasonal treatments as an acupuncturist to just strengthen those organs at those seasons. So some people I just see seasonally. I'd like you all to get out your phones now, please, if you've got them. This is going to be the new selfie. So I want you to turn the camera around to yourself, stick your tongue out, and take a picture. And I don't want to see them. It's horrid, isn't it? It's a scary thing. People used to come to me as a GP and say, look on my tongue. And I say, I don't want to, but it's black, or there's this little thing that, can you, I don't know what that is with your tongue. In Chinese medicine, there's a whole ream on tongues. It's fascinating. So our tongue is the other end of our digestive tract. It tells us everything about our digestion and more. So, Right, the sides of the tongue tell you about your liver and gallbladder. If they're red, if they're a bit redder than the rest of the tongue, there is some stress there. The liver and the gallbladder need free flow. They don't like stress. They don't like lots of alcohol. It could have been a bad night last night for some of you. You'll see some red there. The tip of the tongue is the heart. Lots of us will have little red spots or a definite reddening at the tip of our tongues. That is emotional stress. So when I talk about the liver and gallbladder stress, it's that long-term adrenaline, overwork, slight resentment, anger, downtrodden, I'm pissed off that I'm British, so I won't show it. That's fine. Fuck off. My Kiwi friend recently came to visit and said, "You Brits are so uptight. You look really smiley, but inside you're seething." And she's so right. She's so right. So heart, if you have some redness, there is some emotional stress there. Have a look at it. Just behind that is the lung. If any of you have a slight cold, you'll have a slight reddening behind that tip. Spleen in the stomach is the main body of the tongue. Any digestive problems, you will see a coating. A healthy tongue should be pink with a very thin white coat that you can see through. If you have a fur or a really thick bit, if it's white, there's some internal cold. If it's yellow, there's some internal heat. Those of you with indigestion, irritable bowel will probably have some yellowing. Those of you who are cold in nature generally have a bit of bloating, might find some white there. So you can tell a huge amount by standing in the mirror going, "Ooh, it's not looking good." So if you find it hard to check into feelings, that tells you something about your feelings. It might be a good way for some people to check in. Small and large intestine tend to be at the back. So if you get constipated, you will find that there's some thickening right at the back where things are a bit sluggish. That's just a picture of two healthy tongues. So pink with a fairly thin white coat that you can see through to the color of the tongue. That's unhealthy is a bit critical, isn't it? It just means it's not in balance. So this is a bit of a swollen tongue. If you have teeth marks in the sides of your tongue and it's looking a bit wet and swollen, that's damp and phlegm in Chinese medicine. It's the sticky stuff. It gives you a bit of bloating. You feel a bit muzzy in the head, a bit sticky, heavy limbs. You're okay when you move, but until you move, you feel a bit, ugh. Okay. Earthy people can get quite damp. That's a really red tongue. That is a lot of heat in somebody's body. A lot of heat. Some of this can be from diet. Some of it's constitutional. I'm constitutionally a bit damp and phlegmy, so I do need to move my body. And there are some foods that where I look at my tongue, I think, oh, that wasn't good. So, once you recognize this, you can do something about it. So I love the layering system and the simplicity of Chinese medicine. You just keep adding things in and things start to make a bit more sense. So we had those 5 elements. We can now add in all the organs as well. Then you get to emotions. This is a really fascinating bit, I think, of course. The kidneys, the Chinese say, if an organ is distressed, the emotion that is linked to it will manifest. If somebody's kidneys are damaged, they may well feel some fear that doesn't relate. Why am I fearful? I'm not scared of anything. If somebody feels fearful a lot, it could damage their kidneys. It goes the other way around as well. Joy. Chinese think heart disease is all about lack of joy. The heart really, really needs joy. If you have too much joy, you are manic. You can damage yourself. So, that's the antithesis of too much joy, is people who are manic. Some of the most creative people, like Churchill, wrote their speeches while manic. Some of the most creative insights that I've ever heard have been people who've been mentally unwell, because they are at this unusual place of acute awareness. They believe anything's possible, usually that they can fly and all sorts of other things, but they have incredible creative insights. Worry. God, we do a lot of that, don't we? Just a kind of underlying worrying, ruminating, and that eats away at our digestive system. It also, if we, our digestive system is trying to digest food, and then we add worry in. It's trying to digest all these emotions as well. Grief. I know a lot of people who have lost somebody very, very close to them, and then got a chest infection or pneumonia. Lots of people. So overwhelming grief and sadness can affect our lungs and large intestine. Grief is a normal reaction. All these emotions can be healthy. They're healthy if they're expressed and then you move on from them. Unhealthy emotions are ones that are held onto or suppressed, not expressed. So part of the journey, I think, for all of us is you have to know what's in there. You have to know what's in there to unravel all this. And being yang and happy and positive, I can't be that and understand and feel that because I'm not still enough to really feel what's underneath that. So what does Taoism ask us to do? It's simple. It wants us to look at the seasons. It wants us to remember that if we change according to the seasons, we are more likely to stay healthier. It is asking us to reflect on our emotions. One simple thing that somebody gave me about emotions. Remember the list Sarah put up of all the emotions? Huge amount. Good feeling, on track. Not good feeling, off track. That was great for me. Because when I started thinking about emotions, my head goes, is this sadness, grief, worry? What is it? So now I go, stop. Good feeling, whatever I'm doing, keep doing it. Not good feeling, I'm just disconnected at this minute, what that's about, what can I do? Go and find somebody who uplifts me, smell a rose, that does it for me. Smell a beautiful rose if I don't want to talk to anybody. Find your little bit that can reconnect you and get you into the other direction of flow. I believe that when you are in the Tao, when you're following all this, everything has to flow. There's no choice, including abundance in money, in relationships, because it's the same energy. That might challenge some people, but I'm happy to talk to them later. Oops, I've done it again. Your influences. Be careful about what around you influences you. Choose to take in what works for you. Do not live your life according to what everybody tells you. Nobody can tell you how to get it right. So just choose. I don't watch the news because I'm a little bit sensitive and I go to bed thinking about all the things that are going wrong in the world. It doesn't work for me. My husband says to me, yeah, but your head's buried in the sand. I choose to bury my head in the sand on that bit. It's fine. I'm not a great conversationalist at dinner party about politics, about the news, because I don't watch it. So that's important for me. I'm a sensitive person. I need to honor that and protect myself. Your thoughts. Negative thought, disconnected from the Tao. Positive thought, you're okay. Just keep it simple. And you do have control over your thoughts. You do. Even if some of you are in a really dark place, as Greg said, you can't leap from there to there, but you can do a little bit of smelling a rose. Even if you don't smell much, you can just do little things, tiny, tiny things. Quiet, alone time, because that's the place where you will feel what is really happening. I had a bit of therapy a number of years ago, and I'd not had it before. And I thought after that, I've done it now. That's it. Don't have to do that again. I'm done, I'm sorted. And then about 2 months ago, after Jana asked me to do this talk, I was just aware of a really negative, dark something, I didn't know what it was just coming up, and it felt very old. I had no idea what it was. And I thought, I think I'll just push that, because I've done that. I think I'll just push that down. So don't push it down. Sit with it. It's horrible, and it will continue to be horrible. We don't get it done. None of us have got it done. You know, the person I saw for some support said, well, that's good, you've done that little vignette, now I'll see you again when the next one comes along. We don't get it done, we don't ever figure it out, it's fine, it's okay. To have some quiet time. It's uncomfortable quiet time, it really is, can be. Check your feelings. Trust your intuition. Be as kind to yourself as you are to other people. I've only just got this one after years of being a practitioner. I am really good at taking care of other people. One client I knew well looked me straight in the eyes about 6 months ago and said, "Who takes care of you?" And I just went, ooh. I didn't. Internally I did. And again, I thought, God, bloody hell, there's something else there to look at. So, you know, it goes on, but just be nice to yourselves. Be nice. Thank you very, very much, really.